What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is my review for the FullSpeed Fighter 130. But I guess we're going to be talking about both of these guys here. This is the FullSpeed 120. This is the Leader 120. That's the Fighter 130. Now, I figured out might as well get both of these out of the way at the same time, because there's going to be a lot of comparisons about these two, and a lot of people are wondering which one to get. Probably both of them are awesome. Now, we were having these problems with brownouts with these things, mainly with this one. Most people had this one first, and this one came second. Well, I think they came at the same time, but most people jumped on this one first, the Leader 120, and this is awesome. Most people are touting this as the best that you can get in this class, and I would have to say that that might be true. But I'll more on that later on. But this is the Leader 120, and it came with this battery here, actually a 500 milliamp hour 50C battery, 2S. And it came with a JST connector on it. I swapped it out for an XT30 because we were having these brownout issues with it and all. Now, in hindsight, I'm thinking that maybe it might work still without swapping it to XT30. You might be able to still fly this thing with its stock if you just make that change on a setting that I made on a minimum cell voltage. If you guys didn't see that video, I'll have it linked in the description where you can go and check that out. But to make a long story short, I kind of figured out that it was the minimum cell voltage that was set in beta flight, which was making this thing brown out. It came set at about 3.3 volts, and I think that's way too high for it. Most of the times I have mines at 2.8 or 2.9. And once I made that change, I noticed that, and I made the change, it stopped doing the flip of death, and it started doing it at the end of the battery. These things are so powerful. They're so power hungry with 10 amp ESCs and an OSD running and high kV motors and all with larger props, that it's doing a lot of energy. It's doing a lot of pulling from the battery. Some people were getting these quadcopters and saying that they weren't having any problems. I think it comes down to your flying style as well, because the people that I watch, they will do a flip here and there, a slow flip or whatever, and then they'll just be pitched forward and flying really fast and doing a bunch of turns. Now, I didn't have any problems even with this one without any changes to the settings. I don't have any problems when I'm just doing fast flying and doing punch outs and all. I was doing, if you guys go back and watch that first video of this one, I was doing punch outs, I was doing fast flying and all. It didn't come, the problem didn't surface until I actually tried to do a flip. So that's the first time I saw this thing brown out, is when I did a flip, and I think that's because of that spike of energy draw, the spike of voltage pull. And so people who are flyers fast and just doing punch outs, they're not noticing it, and they're saying, hey, nothing's wrong with this quadcopter, I didn't have any problems. Well, it comes down to the way that you fly it. If you do a lot of flips and all, and if you do like line of sight with it and you're doing flips back and forth, it's going to definitely brown out. And I don't know about the new motors being the cure for it. I think the new motors still do it, because these motors are not the same motors as those, and this one was doing it. This has 1106 motors on it, more beefier than that one. That one just has 1104 motors on it. And this one was doing the brownouts. This one, I think they tried to cure it by using just two-bladed props. So this came with these props here, whereas the Leader came with these King Kong props here. And so, well, they had yellow ones too. There's yellow, there's green. This come in a variety of colors, but for the most part, this is the prop here. It's a King Kong prop, and I think this has a lot more draw than this. You can fly longer with two-bladed props. It it's more efficient than the 3-bladed props or the 4-bladed props. This is just the most efficient, and so they went with these to try to cut down on that, I think, on the brownouts and the power draw and all. But it still does it though. This one does. And it might be because of the battery. This one came with a 30C battery, whereas this one came with a 50C. And I'm thinking, like, if you're beefing this thing up with 1106 motors, more powerful motors, I think that the ESCs are the same ampage though, but you're gonna give it a 30C discharge rate as opposed to the 50C. I think that was a bad move. Correct thing to do was to go up on C rating or get a better battery. So this one does it because of that, I think, the 30C rating. And I think that this one flies maybe a little better than that one, but I think I like the Leader 120 a little better because they actually compromised on this one on the frame. As you can see, the frame is thinner here on this one, and so I ended up breaking the arm when I crashed. Now this one, I've crashed it a bunch. I crashed that one a bunch too, to be fair, but this one held out a little more because of the 3K carbon here. This thing has 3 millimeters on the frame there, so this one is built like a tank. It's not gonna break. Well, I can't guarantee that you're not gonna break an arm, but for the most part, this thing is tough. I've been crashing both of these on concrete. It probably wouldn't have broken if I was flying over grass, but I do all my testing outside over concrete, and so as you can see, I put some epoxy on it. That seems to have fixed it though. It's really firm now, but it did break. So both of them are awesome. I think I like this one better because the frame is thicker, and also these side plates are wider. There's a wider space in between there, so you can fit a micro Swift in here, and you can't fit one in here. You have to go with one of these older style cameras here because of the space of these side plates here. They're not really wide enough, but it is flat up here, so I think you can mount like you can mount a small camera up on here to get some footage if you guys are into that. But I just go with the FPV feed for my footage. But for the most part, awesome quads though. I like to use these quad blades on it. They seem a little more efficient than these do. And in some cases, I think it's more punchy with these on here as opposed to these 3-bladed props. But these 3-bladed props run really nice on it as well. These here, they run okay, but it seems like these grab more air. It seemed like there's more control with these as opposed to the 2-bladed props, so that's why I went with those. And I occasionally fly these. I like to fly with these when I'm doing line of sight acro because I can see the props better and it helps me out with orientation. But as far as just FPV flying, I think the best option is these props here. But that's it. I think I like this one the best. This prop right here is done now. I think I bent it a little too much, but these props are awesome. You can pretty much just bend them back until they get like this, to the point where you just have to replace it. But these props are really durable too. I haven't ever broken one. I never broke one of these. Sometimes when they hit something hard like concrete, I'm out here flying over concrete, so they get scraped up, and so I have been going with these more often. And there it is. It's gone now. Maybe I'll run this as a 2-bladed option. You can run these props here 2-bladed. They come apart, but that's another thing. That's another story. So I guess I'm going to leave you guys with some night footage of this one here. I do recommend swapping to XT30 because these things are very power hungry, and the XT30 suits them better in my opinion. And a lot of the great batteries come with XT30. I think this battery was really good. This one is really awesome. I have really good flights with these two here. This is even a nice option. This is an MJX X600 battery, 700 milliamp hours. These quadcopters seem to like this. And this one here, most people like this battery the best. A lot of people say that this battery is the best you can get, but I found that these batteries seem to maybe outperform this one. I don't know why, but it seemed like I have better flights with these. And even, well, neither one of them, when I punch out hard in the beginning, I don't hear the buzzer, but it seems like I start to hear the buzzer more with this one than I do with these two. I don't know if I just got good batches of these, because other people are saying that these batteries here aren't that good. Well, not this one, but this one. Some people are saying that this one isn't that good, but I've found that this battery is great for me. Hardly any buzzer, and it flies really nice with this. Lighter than this one too, but this one is awesome too. This would be my second pick for a battery here. So I had really good results with this one. Even the stock batteries though, but the stock batteries really aren't that good, but they're good enough to get you in the air though. So oh, there's another battery that I fly with also, and that's this one. I don't know what it is about this battery though, but it interferes with the reception of my King Kong 130 fly egg. But it's okay with these two. But this one is just a little better than the stock batteries. It's not as good as this one here. I found that I get more buzzer with this one than I do with this early in the flight. So maybe this one is the best you can get. Really awesome battery here. And I guess this one comes in a strong second. And this one is really nice too. But let's go check this thing out in flight. I'm going to leave you guys with some night FPV footage of this guy. What's up, y'all? You checking out the Frequent Flyer. And I'm out here with the Fighter 130 from FullSpeed. And I got a GMB 550 milliamp hour 2S. And I got the Rotor X 2535 props on here. So I'm about to do some night flying. Night FPV. Okay, so you got it fired up. And so let's take off. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, y'all. Man, everything looks all blown out, all the lights. Wow, my battery on my transmitter is dying. I can't even go towards those lights over there. I can't see anything. Battery in my transmitter is gone. Well, quick little FPV flight. I don't want to do too much. This camera is terrible right now. A little better in the dark though. Oh! Went a little low on that one.